Welcome to The World According to Mike Graham. It's a brand new show. This week, we're going to be looking into the Meghan Markle phenomenon. What exactly is it that makes her tick? Now, let us begin with the first look at Meghan Markle. This was way before anybody had ever heard of her. This was way before Prince Harry even knew she existed. But she wanted to prove to everyone that she was quite the cook. Because here she is, outside, cooking hamburgers. But for some reason, she's decided to tie her shirt up, she's decided to flick her hair around, and they've decided to film it like some kind of soft porn show. I mean, look what she's looking at. What's she doing there? She's bending over, a bit unhygienic. She's not protecting herself from the flames at all. Now she's got sunglasses on, so you can't even see where the burgers are. And the whole thing is designed to make you desire not necessarily a cheeseburger, but a bite out of Meghan Markle. And that, of course, leads you on to something even better. Soon, by 2011, she was in a TV show.
Wow, you're pretty.
Good. You've hit on me. We can get it out of the way that I'm not interested.
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't hitting on you.
Trust me. I've given dozens of these, and without fail, whatever new hotshot it is thinks that because I'm just a paralegal, that I will somehow be blown away by his dazzling degree. Let me assure you, I won't.
I'm so important, and I'm so much cleverer than you think I am. And that's how Meghan started her conversation with Prince Harry, because it sounds exactly like that. You're hitting on me. Let's get it out of the way. You know you love me. You want me. I mean, this is a woman who's not acting, actually, in that part. She is being Meghan Markle, because that's what she's like. She wants to be in charge. She wants to tell you exactly what you should be thinking about her, and she wants you to want her. And of course, that was Suits, for those of you who've never seen it. Then, of course, it was Harry. It was time for Prince Harry. She'd finally made her way across the Atlantic. She decided she wanted to meet somebody rich, famous, and possibly with a title. She'd asked Piers Morgan, who he knew. And of course, then she ghosted him. But here she is, describing the moment that poor old Harry had to get down on one knee and propose.
He got on one knee.
Of course.
Was it an instant yes from you?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I could barely let you finish proposing. I said, can I say yes now?
She didn't even let me finish. She said, can I say yes, can I say yes now? And then there was hugs and I had the ring on my finger.
He doesn't look very comfortable. And of course, it's a terrible invasion of their privacy. Imagine giving an interview where you had to talk about the moment that proposition was made. Absolutely awful. Horrendous. People are always praying into his private life. And then, of course, there was the wedding in 2018.
But I have to tell you, I didn't walk across the Atlantic Ocean to get here. Controlled fire in that plane got me here. Fire makes it possible for us to text and tweet and email and Instagram and Facebook.
You're all right, mate. Calm down. That was Bishop Michael Curry, who apparently didn't walk across the water to get to Britain from America. Yeah, I mean, I think there were signs already there that they were in the limelight and maybe didn't actually like it too much. But of course, from there it all went horribly wrong because they went back to Kensington Palace. She didn't really get along with the staff. She didn't really get along with Kate. She didn't really get along with anyone. And apparently, it was because she was suffering. Suffering because they were all racists. Suffering because she was feeling very depressed, apparently. But hey, let's hear it from her instead.
Hold up,
There are several conversations.
There's a
about
conversation with you
it. With Harry.
about how dark your baby is going to be?
Potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
Ooh.
About how dark your baby is going to be? That's Oprah Winfrey, who also apparently has pretty much parted company with the lovely couple, Harry and Meghan. But she and that interview went around the world, and it was a big shock to everybody because people were going, hang on a minute, the royal family's racist? Now, of course, they're reduced to coming out and doing phone calls that have been prearranged. This is what happened this week when somebody won some money from a charity that they're associated with.
Hello, this is Tazine.
Hi, Jazine.
Hi, Jazine.
So good to talk to you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good
Take
one.
care, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, it's so great. Everybody's great. Everybody's so happy. And of course, they did that because a lot of people said that maybe things were not so rosy at home as they ought to have been. But you make up your own mind. That was my deep dive into the weird world of Meghan Markle. We'll find out from an expert what it all means next. I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by royal author and expert, Angela Levin. Angela, a very good evening to you, and thank you so much for joining us. I mean, who could fail to be moved by some of that beautiful imagery that we've just looked at? Meghan Markle's early career, you know, her meeting Prince Harry, some of the pieces that she's done on television, and now finally coming to the point where they have to sort of do a special video to convince everybody that they're still happy together.
Yes, but they didn't even look at each other once in this special video. It was done in May when things have moved very fast, I think, from May.
You know, it's all a bit fixed, isn't it? It all looks a bit set up.
Well, it was very phony, but also they must think that we're stupid because they said they surprised them all by calling up various young people who are good at technology. Well, there was a cameraman in each of the place that they went to, so how would that be a surprise?
But also, anybody who's ringing somebody who doesn't know that they're ringing them, normally you'd say, hello, this is Meghan Markle, and they'd go, oh, hello, Meghan, I didn't know you were ringing me. But, I mean, they didn't even do that. It's just like she knew exactly who it was, and she knew exactly who was ringing.
Yeah, but the saddest thing of it was when they were talking and Harry said, you know, I have to thank you on behalf of my children for what you're doing. Well, once two, the others four, they weren't anything about people doing technical things. And she said quite sharply, well, they will when they're older, but not now. You know, it was quite harsh, I thought. She couldn't hold it back. It's a silly comment of Harry's, but I think that he was very nervous, even though it was a couple of months ago when things I don't think were quite so bad. It shows that he's I've always said that he's frightened of her, and I still think so.
Well, I mean, I think you would be frightened of her. She looks like somebody you wouldn't want to upset. You know, I think if she was married to me, I'd be sort of not coming home very much and be worried
You wouldn't have married her, would you?
Well, no, because, well, it's one of those things where you know when you're going to be in trouble when you get home, so you might as well wait until a lot later and come home, you know, 4 hours later. You're just as much trouble then. But it seems to me that that's kind of what he's like, you know?
He wants to please her so much that he doesn't know what to do. And she is, you can't gather when she will be upset and when she won't.
And do you think she'll be saying to him, I don't want you going back to see your family. I don't want you going off to London without me. I don't want to go to London, so therefore you're not going either.
I don't think she does it like that. I think she brings up something that they've said to him, or she's heard from Harry that they've said to him, and then she turns it into something really unpleasant and evil, perhaps. And she then looks at him. Yes, I mean, Harry was quite mischievous with his previous girlfriends. He wasn't always loyal to them. But with Meghan, he wouldn't do anything that he thought would absolutely upset her. So she's more powerful than he is, and so he curtails to that. But I think it's very sad that that's what he feels.
Yeah. Do you think in the end it won't last, the marriage?
Well, I thought originally that it would only last 2 years, but I've been proven wrong. It's now 5. But I think that Meghan needs the title. And as you said, that in America, they're getting fed up with the moaning and groaning. But without that title, she's just not really anybody. She might have been pushed up, but she's very likely, I think she might be thinking that she might go downhill after him, and that she needs that, and they need the attachment to the royal family in case they need money and they can get it again. But I think for him, I think she's quite dismissive of him. You know, she taps him on the back, pushes him out the way. He seems sometimes to be like a servant.
Yeah,
you know, he gets
I
out of
know.
the
Your royal Lotus, I think they call him. And so, do you think what do you think is next for Meghan then?
I think it's very difficult now. I mean, we're hearing in the papers from all sorts of sources that she's being offered wonderful things this way and that. She's going to have a whole new start to herself in September, and it will be surprised and wonderful at all the things that there are. But the trouble is, she tries to do everything. She wants to do something political. She wants to do books. She wants to be in a film. She wants to do, you know, all sorts of things. Well, you can't do that. You need to focus. You need to stay with something, and you need to work very, very hard. In America, they don't like people who don't work hard.
Thanks very much indeed for that, Angela. That's Angela Levin, a royal biographer and expert, of course. Coming up next, it's time for Trump's takedown.
You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Not a single American life should be put at risk because crooked Joe Biden has been illegally paid off. He's been paid off. This is a corrupt president.
You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN.
That was Trump's takedown. What a week he's had. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the world according to Mike Graham. It is, of course, a very weird world. Not just the one that I'm in, but the one we're all in. And in order to prove that, it's time for Prime Minister for a week. Of course, in Liz Truss's case, it was Prime Minister for a couple of weeks, slightly more than 1 week. But I've got two great guests this week. I have got, for the first time on the show, Susie Kennedy, comedian and actress. Welcome to the show. And Steve Denyer, a man we know very well, of course, from his DJ work at Virgin Radio.
Very
Welcome
nice
to
to
both
see
of
you.
you. Now, you've both got the chance here to prove yourselves as completely wonderful political thinkers. I'm going to come to you first, Susie, and I want to hear from you your three things that you would do.
So my three are social media should be banned 1 day a week, just for people, 1 day a month, sorry, just to get people's heads clear.
Would you ban it for the same day for everybody? So would it be 1 day for each person, a different day?
No, I just think every Sunday,
Right.
all social media's off.
Right.
So it gives people a chance to hang out with their kids and just, you know, have a conversation with each other.
I quite like that. So you'd have 6 day a week only,
Yeah.
or 6 day, or one Sunday a month. You wouldn't be able to get on social media. But I can see a problem with the time difference, though, because I mean, obviously, if you're on the other side of the world.
Yeah, but I'm Prime
happens
Minister
then?
of country, not the world.
Oh, I see.
So it's only the people in the UK.
Okay.
Unless you want to make me Prime Minister of the world, I'd love that.
Well, listen, that's a longer show, I think. But listen, it's not a bad thought. All right, what's your second one?
My second one is all MPs
Yeah.
should have to work for a week in a low-paid job, but they can't take a camera crew with them, right? Because you know they always pretend that.
Oh, they like to do that,
They actually have to do it as a real person without a camera crew.
So, well, you can't do that thing like Rishi Sunak did. Remember when he went to the homeless shelter and he started handing out some food and he said to the guy, "What work do you do?" And the guy was like, "I'm homeless."
Yes,
Remember?
exactly.
What business are you in?
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
like, no. But what about Mel Stride this week? He said that all people over 50 should get a job delivering takeaways, get a moped and just start, delivering.
I think that's ridiculous. I think our old people should be taken care of. You're taking young people's jobs from them. Let young people do that. The old people, we should take care of them a bit more.
Yeah, that would be good. Steve, I'm not going to suggest for a minute that you're one of those people.
Okay,
You're
good.
No way are you old enough for that.
That's fighting talk, Mike.
But what are you making of her thoughts so far?
I'm liking them so far. I'm not sure about the social media. It's a nice idea. I'm thinking about the idea. I don't think I'll be able to keep it up. I think that social media thing's become such a problem now. Try and keep me off.
Do you have that? Do you have that thing where you sit with the phone and you're looking at it and you go, "No, I'm not going to do it. I'm absolutely not going to touch it." But
and then 2 minutes later, I'm on it and I've forgotten about it and I'm doing it and it happens. So
that's why it's a great thing
guilty
for me.
as charged.
That's a great policy then,
Yeah.
because I have to help people like you. You're addicted,
Thank you.
and I'm going to an intervention once a month. You can touch your phone.
I think it's useful.
Yeah.
Number 3, what is it?
So, International Women's Day. I know it's your favourite day of the year.
Listen, I don't. Every day, I say this. Every day to me is International Women's Day. I'm very much in favour of women. Every day to me is a
Right,
celebration.
you're going to love this then.
You see?
So, International Women's Day, men are not allowed out. So for that one day,
You'd have to stay in with a woman.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, well, there you go. So
Yeah.
we can be free. Like if there was no men on the street, I could do a night run.
Yeah.
There's so many things I could do if men just disappeared for the day.
Oh, you thought about this one, haven't you?
I have.
24 hours.
It's only 24 hours.
24 hours. Well, what else can't you do because of men?
Just think of all the things you could be doing in that 24 hours if we were somewhere else.
Sleeping.
There you go.
Probably.
Benefits you as well.
In the pub. No, you're not allowed out.
No, you're not allowed out.
Well, could you do a lock-in in a pub? Would that be all right?
You could lock yourselves in a pub.
Yeah.
As
That
long
I
as
could
you're
do.
nowhere near the women and let us have, you've got to be a pub that we're not using.
Yeah.
Just for one day of the year, you're off the streets and we can just have freedom.
Yeah, but what else do you not think you can do, though, when men
So,
are
for
around?
example, I leave the theatre last night.
Yeah.
I have to think, I've got to walk down this road. It's
Yeah.
really dark.
Right.
Muggings.
Yeah.
In fairness, not a lot of women do muggings. Most of them are done by men.
But there are worse things, yeah.
Sexual assault.
Yeah.
There's loads of things. So it's just like one day where we could walk into a bar and just sit at a bar
Not
on
be
our own
chatted up
having
by
a drink
people.
and actually just want to be in a bar and have
Yeah.
a drink.
Right.
Yeah.
And not be chatted up by some bozo who wants to ask you whether or not you actually...
Just one day of the year.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What do you reckon?
Hopefully it's not the day when I can't use social media. Otherwise, that's going to be a very dark day.
That would be a long
isn't it?
day for you.
That's going to be an
so you're in the
incredibly
house,
long
right?
day.
You're not allowed out.
I'm getting anxiety.
And you're already getting. Yeah, you can't use your phone. Oh my God! You know, it's a nightmare. Right. So anyway, over to you, Steve. What are you?
Okay, so I've been thinking about this. No movie should ever be over 70 minutes long.
I like this because there's a lot of people going on and on about Oppenheimer at the moment. And, you know,
it's a mission.
Apparently it's like 3 hours long.
Over 3 hours
I don't
long.
want to see a film that's that long.
If it's that long...
I mean, I have enough trouble staying awake in the cinema as it is because you put me in a room that's dark and I just fall asleep, you know, and my kids are terribly embarrassed. In fact, they stopped asking me to go to the Marvel movies with them because I would always fall asleep and they'd have to wake up and snoring, you know.
Anything over 70 minutes is a badly edited film.
See, I disagree.
You can tell any story within an hour.
I think I could go to sort of up to 2 hours. You know, 70 minutes is quite short, isn't it?
I could cancel this out on both of you. Have you ever watched a series?
I have, but that's in my own time, and there's breaks and
But then
social media breaks in between.
Break the film down, because it shows you have capacity, and you can't really do a great film about anything.
Yeah, but you know what? He's right, because if you're watching a series, you know, after each one, and it's maybe 45 minutes at the most, you get a chance to stop, you get up, you go and have a glass of wine, pour yourself, you know, get yourself some crisps or something
People
like
are very badly behaved in cinemas now.
Yeah.
You know, all you can hear
I don't
is
like
chewing
cinemas.
and rapping. And
I don't like them.
Now 3-course meals are provided in some cinemas. And I don't want to hear other people eating food when I'm trying to watch a movie. It's just all too distracting.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Make a Denia version and there could be a 3-hour version.
I like it.
Out there.
Is that like Taylor's version?
Yes.
You know, one of those. All right, so number 2.
My second one, and it sounds slightly harsh, but anything that Sadiq Khan's ever decided should be immediately reversed.
Yeah, good.
Here's a man who's making my life an absolute misery.
Is everybody else's life?
You know,
as well?
just trying to get to where I live, and it sounds very selfish, this is just awful.
Yeah.
You know, he's blocked off the end of the road.
Yeah.
Taxis have to go on this almighty diversion.
Is it one of these low traffic neighbourhoods?
Just unbelievable. Yeah. Every single cab driver hates everything that he's ever said. You know, so it's just a nightmare. It's becoming worse, Mike.
It is, because not only are they closing off, you know, roads permanently, but they're also closing off a lot of roads temporarily as well. And where I live, I've had this kind of one-way system, and they've been widening the pavements because, of course, they're trying to narrow it for cars.
Yeah.
And so now I can drive out of my house, get to this point about a mile away from where I live, and I'm sitting there for an hour because it's just stuck.
Yeah.
And there's no other way out. It's a nightmare.
And it's costing us all money.
Yeah.
Week by week, day by day.
And also, this business of the clean air, it's not cleaning the air, it's just making people pay to use the air.
Of course it is.
What do you reckon? How do you feel about Sadiq
How am I
Khan,
doing?
Susan?
Well, is it Sadiq Khan's fault, though?
Yeah.
Well, they're his
everything
policies, aren't they?
You know, his policies...
Everything's his fault.
Yeah, okay, everything's his fault.
You know.
Well, I don't know if
the rain.
Yeah. The only time I'd ban Sadiq Khan is from going out on International Women's Day because he's a man, he needs to stay in.
That's true, yeah. I'd be up for that. And I'd keep him off social media as well, because his social media posts are really
It looks like you have to vote for my policies, actually.
all the time. Number 3.
This one I really care about. In fact, I could get quite angry about this. Motorists who hog the middle lane.
Yeah.
There was a picture this week in one of the papers that was taken on the M6 at 5 a.m. and there is a motorist in the middle lane. You know, just somebody who's got no desire to play by the game.
I've lately noticed as well motorists that hog the fast lane.
Right.
And they won't move over. You know, there used to be a thing,
annoying.
if you see somebody coming up behind you going a bit faster, you just move over. I've had problems lately with that.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people now who don't know how to drive.
Yeah.
They literally don't.
Well, they've just forgotten. It's been so many years.
And also, good luck finding the middle lane. Because most roads now have got cones, you know, there's down to one lane, 50 miles. Everybody I know has been getting speeding tickets.
Yeah.
Which is also Sadiq Khan's fault.
When I passed my test, I didn't do a motorway part. Is that why people can't drive on motorways?
No, I don't either.
So maybe they don't know this.
Yeah, maybe. But I think also they don't know how to drive at roundabouts either. You know, have you ever seen people at a roundabout, people don't know who's going first. I'm like, sure, go. You go. Then I'll go.
I mean,
Idiots.
saying that, I don't drive. I'm a nightmare. But, you know, that's not the point. That is not the point.
Well, it's better if you don't drive if you're a nightmare. Because, you know, if you're a nightmare, I don't want you driving. That's fine. OK, now I have to decide. And there are good things on both of your sides, I think. But, I mean, I'm sensing that you're a bit of a... what's the word for misandrist about men? You don't want men out there bothering you. One day a week.
One day a year?
Oh, one day a year. Still.
If you want to make it a week, I won't
One day
fight
a week.
it.
Yeah. I think you're more about banning things than he is. So I'm.
He wants to ban Sadiq Khan.
Yeah, well, that's a worthwhile endeavour. You know, that is a worthwhile endeavour.
He might be a nice guy.
I'm sorry to do this because I'd like to let you win for the first time ever. but I'm going to give it to Steve. I think Prime Minister
Thank
for
you,
a
Mike.
week for Steve, because these things, I think the films are absolutely spot on. Sadiq Khan, absolute nightmare. And anything against bad motoring, it's good. But thank you for coming.
enough.
And thank you for playing.
Thanks for showing up.
And come back again and have another go at being Prime Minister for a week. Coming up next, though, it's time for Biden's Balls Up.
We're going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Kleptocracy and the guys who are the kleptocracies.
Now, some of you might have been trying to get around by train this week, but we'll come back to that. I want to talk today about Mick Lynch. He is, of course, the man who runs the RMT, the Railway and Maritime Trade Union. Of course, he's a very powerful man. He was raised in a working class family in West London. He went to a good school. He did all right. He didn't really like doing the sort of work that some of his members do. So instead, he decided to run the union. Now, there was a time when I called him a Marxist. There was a time when I called him an anti-Tory revolutionary, a man who would rather see the country burn than actually have the Tories in power. Let's not forget, the RMT has been on strike for over a year. So I've been giving him one hell of a shellacking over the last few weeks and months, because I think he deserved it. But then I thought, maybe actually, it's not him. Maybe it's the railways. Maybe it's the people who run the trains rather than the people who drive them who are the problem. So I thought, maybe now's the time to say sorry, to embrace Mick Lynch as a fellow member of the great British public, and to say to Mick, you know, I might have called you some nasty names over time. I might have accused you of trying to bring the country to a standstill, of ruining people's lives, of making it impossible for people to go and visit their families, get to their jobs. And I had this really, really good apology prepared, because I'm going to meet Mick Lynch this weekend. I'm debating him in Edinburgh at the Edinburgh Festival, and we're going to be talking about whether public service workers should be allowed to go on strike. So I tried to book a ticket on the trains, and it turns out there's a work to rule going on from the RMT. So I'm having to bloody fly instead. So you can forget your apology, Lynch. Just forget it. I'll see you on Saturday night. Well, that's all we've got time for this week on The World According to Mike Graham. We'll see you next time.
Introducing Mike and Kevin's Ice Cream for Snowflakes. Indulge in our deliciously sanctimonious flavors, such as Extinction Raspberryan, Cancel Culture and Cream, Cookie Double Warming, Non-Bineberry, Woca-Cola, Ginger Nut, and Vanilla. All made from our organic gender fluid. Mike and Kevin's Ice Cream for Snowflakes.